Hey, this is Rudley from NOFX Crew. You're watching Crash and Bleed.
So where does our story start then, this discovery of punk rock for you? Does it go back to high school? Were people handing around mixtapes, something along those lines?
I have an older brother. Let's say around 1981, he got interested in punk rock. All of a sudden, Minor Threat existed in our lives. It went from there. He started a band called Scared Straight, turned into 10 Foot Pole, is now Pulley. My brother's a singer for this band. So it's a lifelong. By 84, I had my own band. I'm screaming for my own band. And, of course, we all know who NOFX is. Horrible band, just horrible. I remember one time my brother coming into my jam room, probably 85. He's like, hey, you guys should change your name to NOFX. And we all looked at each other, we're laughing, we're like, NOFX, fucking horrible. God, no. We already thought we were better than them, and I was only 13 years old. But, so full circle, really, with that band for me. It's funny, somewhere, I guess it was around 87, a buddy of mine drew a flyer for a party there in my hometown. They came out and played. We all went to the party and see the band. They were just fucking horrible. So I'd never cared about NOFX in the 80s, ever. And, my own band disbanded. I think punk rock kind of went a weird way somewhere around 87, 88 for us in LA. A lot of bands turned
What was that band
metal.
called?
The Mutant Army.
Did you have records out or anything like that?
We don't. We did a 3-song demo, and we sent the demo to Mystic Records to be put on. It came from Slimy Valley 2, and he didn't put the song out on it. So we had no love anywhere. I still have the demo. I think I played it for Fatty not that long ago. He got a kick out of it. Everybody laughed at it. It's fucking great. I'm a 13-year-old screaming. There was very few kids in punk rock. That's for damn sure. I was really alone. It was me and a couple. I'd go to a show, for example, in Oxnard Community Center. We were what was called Nardcore. That was our punk rock.
Like RKL?
Exactly. Like RKL, Aggression, Ill Repute, my brother's band, Scared Straight. And that's all I knew or cared about. It's not true. I love Minor Threat. I love Bad Religion. But I definitely leaned more towards melodic type punk rock if it existed then. So there's a lot of violence in those years. For a kid, holy shit. I was just scared to fucking death, man, going to shows. And I didn't go to too many, not in LA. My mom wouldn't even let me. But started tagging along a little later, 85. And then there wasn't that many great shows anymore. Come 85, 86, like I said, it kind of turned metal edge. And I got weirded out by that. We were like, fuck happened? But so my friend Timmy, who sang for a band called The Grimm, Timmy Grimm, who turned into Timmy the Turtle, who worked for NOFX for years, he was just hounding me. Hey, you gotta come and check this out. NOFX is making a video. We're gonna do a tour. You're so good at all this shit. You gotta be a part of it. Come help me. So the very first day I ever showed up for NOFX was the video for Bob, who made that video that day. My first day ever.
You're yelling Bob in the video, I think.
Bob! Bobby! Bob! Bobby! It's me and Melvin and a girl named Joy. We went there after the White Trash tour. We went back to the studio and did that voiceover. So that day was so much fun. I met Lagwagon that day, first time ever. Absolutely life-changing for me, Lagwagon, because I ended up spending the next 10 years, full-time Lagwagon. Well, bouncing between bands, but I've dedicated my life to Lagwagon after that tour. But on that day, that Bob video day, we worked all day long on the video, and then we did a real show that night. Helped out with everything, and I was like, fuck, I'm going to meet you guys. My brother, he played for the Chicago White Sox at the time, and he also had his band, Scared Straight, before they changed it to 10 Foot Pole. I think they changed it like right then, around that month. They wanted to get away from like the straight edge kind of moniker, because nobody was straight edge, really. So they were going to play the shows on, I want to say Easter Sunday that year. Must have been 92. You might have to fact check me on that one. I was like, I'm fucking going. I'm flying to Chicago for those shows, and I'm never coming home. I'm going to just get on their bus. Or it was called the Mattersmobile. It wasn't called the Mattersmobile yet. It was a airport shuttle bus that my brother had bought as an investment, rent to bands, and NOFX took it first. Melvin redid it, built beds in it, and the deck, and however he made it, and NOFX took it on that White Trash tour. So I was flying out there to do the show with Scared Straighter, 10 for Pole, and I was just in my mind, I'm like, I'm going to just hound these guys to get on that and never come back home. And I did. I totally pulled it off. Although they really wanted me to go with Lagwagon. Just go drive them, man. Just be with them. Take that band over. They got nobody. But I helped everybody. By the time the tour was done, the last shows, I remember Mike, and Kent wasn't the manager of the band yet. It was his first run. He was manager really soon after, but he was getting involved for sure. Mike and him were brainstorming on things together. And they were both like, look, we can't take you. We don't need it, but that band needs it. They need help, man. So just take it over. And I never really talked to anybody. I just took over Lagwagon. Me and Caper became the heads of Lagwagon for some years. And after that, it took me a while to come back to NOFX. I'd bounce in between here and there, helping them, but they went through a few different guitar roadies, let's say, before I made my way back. And we were the opening band plenty of times for NOFX as Lagwagon. So they saw me doing everything. They knew who I was and how gnarly I was getting. And it was just a matter of time before Mike was like, I think, I want to say it must have been 97 Warped Tour. I was doing Lagwagon, the Vandals, Pennywise. I don't know if Gimme's existed yet. I'm not sure what year that started, but Gimme's. And Mike just wrote me and he was like, Pennywise? He was all upset. Fuck, just come to us, man. And I was laughing. I remember that. It's like the first email I ever received in my life from Mike. It was just Pennywise with a bunch of question marks. So sure, I made my way in. I started triple dutying on those Warped Tours. I'd have 3 main stage bands and just be killing myself for them. And I ran that one for years, but that started NOFX again for me, I would say 97, 98. And tried to never miss a show ever again.
So what gets a person into guitar tech?
Well, it's funny because I'm not a guitar player. I have passion, absolute passion for guitarists. I mean, I'm a Randy Rhoads fan, so I really like an incredible guitarist. I've been so fortunate to be with Scott Shiflett over the last years and be witness to privy to his guitar playing, which is unfucking believable. But it wasn't a guitar tech. It was carry this fucking cabinet, carry this amplifier. Let's get it in the venue. I need to bring the drums in there. I need to do whatever I need to do to make the rock roll is exactly what it was. Just anything and everything. I had to go set up all the merch. You have to sit at this merch table and sell shit to kids. And then it's over and I got to run to the stage, break it all down and pack a fucking trailer. So who am I? Where do I stand? What am I doing? I'm just a roadie, straight road dog, doing it all. But, when they're not tuning their guitars very well, and then I'm just taking it from them and checking it all out and just learning, brainstorming and learning, watching others, watching really good guys working on stage as techs and just stealing from them, taking their technique and trying to learn from it. So it just developed over the years. I didn't start off as a guitar tech. I changed strings for bands before I had met Lagwagon and NOFX. I have a couple of the person who plays guitar for Pulley at the moment had a band in the 80s and early 90s that I would go and hang around with. I was their fan, but I was their bro, so I'd go there and change some strings for them or what have you. Learning here and there. But yeah, it just became serious one day. I remember. I don't think I became serious this day, but I remember tripping on my friend Donnie Spada. Donnie Spada is Pearl Jam's guitar tech at the moment. He just got done with No Doubt at the Sphere for the last shows. And he was with 311. He was with Bad Religion at the moment. on this Warped Tour. And some shit went wrong. Baker came down on him a little bit about something, and he was like, "This is my fucking career, man. I don't need anybody talking shit about me or making me look bad because this is my career." And I was just laughing, going, "Your fucking career? Fuck, really? You're gonna change strings for life?" I was just tripping on that. And here I am, man. That was for sure 30 years ago when he was saying that. And yeah, I've been changing strings for the last 30 years, amongst other things.
Yeah.
I've gotten a lot better at guitar. I've gotten, and I still am not a player. Barely have a few chords, but damn, I know the math really well. You know, I figured out the math really well.
Yeah, man. So, for those that don't understand how exactly, what exactly goes into putting a live show on, when you show up to a place, nothing's set up. As we saw in Backstage Passport, sometimes you show up to a place, absolutely nothing's sorted. What's the first thing that needs to be done?
Well, power's important. It's always been an issue in my life. Figure out what kind of power we're running, what country we're in, and how we're going to get our things powered up. But it just depends. You know, if we're out of the country, not in the United States, we generally don't have our own things until later in life, where we were bringing around computers playing out of the Kemper and a Fractal, which is basically an amp simulator, right? They're small and you could take them around the world. But so beforehand, you're showing up somewhere, and what do we have to work with? Got to figure it out. I got to take a look around the room, see what's center, see what the starting point is. There's always a number one. There's always point A, and you're better off going straight to point A and starting there before you start somewhere else. And it's hard to know what is point A. It took a long time to have understanding on the very first thing we need to know. And as far as the band, that's a whole nother issue. Don't come over to the stage. Don't talk to me. Don't bother me. This is not your concern until it is. You know, NOFX was really good like that with me. You know, I was alone, able to do what I wanted, and they walk out and trusted. But you know, it takes a lot. It's hard to explain. You know, like I said, we had to figure out what we were going to use for the band to play out of, and that didn't always work out. So a lot of improvising. Make the rock roll became a theme of my life. Whatever it takes to make the rock roll. And I think, man, I got good at it at the heat of the moment. No time to spare. I don't need to think. I just act, you know. Never a problem, only solution. And I've made it work for me really well like that.
Yeah, well, how many guys does it take? Usually there's a guitar tech, there's a drum tech. Were you teching for Hefe, Mike, and Melvin? Were you doing all three?
I do all three. And I wanted it that way. I was asked many times, do I need another worker? You know, usually in NOFX, if you fuck up, you don't get fired, you just get help. So that's how we ran our family. It's incredible, right? I may have needed help, but I refused it, and you know, did it myself. But I did have a drum tech always there, and we worked together. I had a monitor guy, and I had a front of house guy. I had a merch guy, and we were the team. We are the crew. We all helped each other with whatever we needed to do to make that. If I needed to go lift boxes and carry them, that's what I'm doing. Doesn't matter what my job title was. It doesn't come with a job description. That's the problem. I yelled about that a few times. Next time I want a fucking job description. But no, it's all encompassed. I think later in life now, as things got bigger and better, as far as maybe money and stuff, yeah, I don't have to do so many things. I do my job, and we have other people to do those jobs. But I stuck with those three. I did Mike, Hefe, and Melvin.
Yeah. So who was on the crew back then, like in the 90s? Was Jay Walker there? I think he might have joined
Jay Walker was there. He sold the T-shirts and dealt with the merch. Kent was the manager / front of house, and Limo was the monitors and drum tech. We had Timmy Turtle with us, and he would help build the drum set. He wasn't so tech savvy. He didn't play beats. Limo was an actual drummer, so Limo would kind of take on the tuning and sound checking, and Timmy would get on to helping Kent do managerial things, prepping the band, whatever. If he had to go get food, coffees, whatever, Timmy ended up, one thing that Fat Mike made up, I'm positive he made this up, was Timmy would sit at the door with a little counter. He would click the people coming in to the club, and at the end of the night, when it was time to battle the promoter, and the promoter said, yeah, 350 people came in, here's your money, Mike would be like, no, man, it's right here. It was 500, and you're not fucking us. So he just called promoters out. It was absolute fucking genius move. And I wish he'd have made that a little part of the movie. Fuck, I'm receiving a call right now. I can't answer. Goddamn you, podcast. It's all good.
All right, so has the NOFX crew remained the same since back in the 90s? Has it always been the same family?
No. At some point, Jay Walker started his own businesses, and it wasn't worth it to go on tour. He was making more money building his business in Portland, Oregon. He's got a couple tattoo/piercing shops. He's a piercer, tattooer. So, he has buildings and businesses and employees, and it's tough to leave. So he stepped back, and he got a guy named Steve Garrett. Steve came from the band Bayside, and he was also helping manage Alanis Morissette. And Steve's an off and on drummer when he was a kid, so he had the drums down. He came in as drum tech / help Kent, but Kent kind of left at the same time, or right after. Steve became management, and Limo left us, at one point. William Wilkie, our merch guy, left at another point. So I don't know the years, but somewhere in the 2000s, later in the 2000s, the crew disbanded. I basically stayed by myself for a bit there. Kent came back in. Limo stayed for a while before he left. So it was actually me and Limo and Steve Garrett and William before William left. Must have been somewhere around close to COVID. Everything kind of disbanded a little before that. And then after we never really came back. Kent came back. It was me and Kent. And then, for shits and giggles here and there, Jay Walker would pop in because Steve left after COVID. He was not manager or drum tech anymore. And the drummer for the All-American Rejects, Chris Gaylor, he came in to be drum tech. He's a worker. He's one of us. It doesn't matter how much of a rock star he is. He's fucking one of us. It's great human right there. And he just wanted to be part of the crew.
Yeah, so it's always remained like a family then, even though people can come and go.
Absolutely. John Graber, who ended up playing the ska parts at the live shows the last couple of years, and engineer master. He was also our onstage sound man, the monitor guy. He'd run into some trouble. He's busy. He's got a few different jobs going on. And of course, like I said, not getting fired, just getting some help. So he got to pick another guy who just had his back. Do all my shit, man. I got to do this stuff. Make sure I'm taken care of. So yeah, absolute family till the bitter end.
So what's Kent actually doing back there on sound? Or sometimes it looks like he's in front of the stage. Is he running everything?
He's making the sound for the crowd, front of house. He's the sound man of the band, as well as manager, on the road, off the road, really busy, fielding text messages from absolute fucking idiot rock stars.
So, as technology started to change, are you guys traveling around with auto cues and that kind of stuff? Sometimes there's those transparent things that the crowd can't see, but the band can see. You know what I mean?
We didn't do that until the very last shows. I never had a teleprompter. We never had anything secret or special or any type of effects per se. Almost never. We used a different equalizing position for Fat Mike's bass tone when they do the reggae songs, so it was more of a thud bass sound instead of his clicky clacky. I really had to work on that. If I had to go to the amp to change things, I knew the strings were dead. Keep brand new strings on that, and I could keep Fat Mike's sound good just with his amplifier. And I use a little EQ pedal, and we do the reggae songs. And then eventually we throw a little distortion pedal in there for the beginning of Church and Skate, or one part of Church and Skate, the beginning of the decline. Da-dum, da-dum. That's a little distorted bass. Other than that, not much. Mike and Melvin would go to a dirty channel to a clean channel, and Hefe would go to a dirty to a clean and use a wah-wah, right? Or the reggae things. Very, very little effects other than the sound of their guitars. And in the end, later in life, our last shows, we got these teleprompters and we put all the words in. There was so many more songs than ever before. It was all about playing all these songs. And then, it's like, and we got to not play all those the next day. Almost all of them have to be different. Mike never wants to play the same set list, and he never did, ever. Maybe a variation of the same songs, but never the same set list, ever. Can't have the master log in the computer of what that set was last year in this city, the year before, for the last 20 years in that city. This was the set list. Well, we're not doing that. We're doing this now. So we never did it the same, ever.
I heard that you're a collector of the set lists.
I'm not a collector at all. It became later. Through the years, I've taken some things here and there. In the end, as we did the NOFX exhibit in the museum, it ends up everything's mine. I did collect things. All of a sudden, I guess I'm the one who has it all, because I would say 80% of the exhibit is my things, my personal things. Set lists I collected here and there from different bands. I never really cared. On the last couple tours, Fat Mike told me, collect set lists. Start collecting these final tour set lists, every one of them. And so I did. I think I collected 19 of them, and I gave them all to Mike. I'm pretty sure Mike is putting them on his eBay vault. I'm not sure, but I don't have any anymore. I don't think I even have one. I gave them all to Mike. I have other great bands though. I have some Lagwagon set lists from the 90s and a lot of great set lists, but I don't know if I even have one NOFX set list at the moment anymore. I'm not sure. I'd have to dig through some stuff at my mom's, but I think I went through it all for the museum and got it all out there. The set list I'm not going to get back. Everything else I'll get back, but I have the little banner. I have the big banners. I have everything. So I have some real prized possessions that people want, and I think people deserve. I think we should do at some point we should do an auction and a donation to some great cause with the money. I don't need I'm not going to say I don't need the money, but I don't deserve the money for that. I don't think anybody in the band does. We should give it to somebody cool, some cool cause, and I'm sure we will. It's just a matter of time.
Yeah, man. Well, you mentioned the decline a little bit earlier. Do you remember what your reaction was to that when that first came about? Were you there when that was in discussion?
I was not. That just was brought to me and played, and I listened for a while, and I can't even believe that. Wow. And I want to say I was probably sitting with Mike. Mike's usually the one to show the first time anything, right? He's really proud like that. Yeah, check this out. Whether it's debauchery, whether it's weird drug shit, whatever it is, that's his pride. Otherwise, no pride, no shame for that guy. But he does have his pride in being first to show you. So I think I sat with him as he played me that. I think I was pretty impressed at the moment. If I remember right, I was just like, fuck, wow. I was impressed with everything. I don't know if there was moments where I was like, nah, I don't know if that's gonna work. I'm pretty sure I was like, fuck, he had me convinced. I was sold on Fat Mike from the beginning. It was just in the later years I have my doubts.
Well, you started off like as a hardcore guy, it sounds like. So how are you with like the pop punk stuff? Do you dig that stuff? Do you love the ska, the reggae?
No, I don't. I'm not going to say that because it's not true. I do. I like it all. But yeah, it didn't. I don't just go home and put on ska to listen to. No. I definitely don't put on Blink to listen to. No, my 13-year-old daughter does, and good for her, and good for them because of it. And I love those guys, and but you know, it just, I don't know. I think we had it in us as being older, and where we came from, we're all offended or something by these younger kids doing this, and I like to take on that role with the older guys. Maybe, yeah, fuck them and all, but it's not so true. I appreciate them and what's become and what they're doing, and I do like a lot of those bands. Is the truth. You know, I love Bayside. I don't know what pop punk is per se, and what we're doing isn't. What was Lagwagon called? Skate punk? What are we calling this stuff? You know? So, I mean, you know, I like Suicidal. Let's talk 80s. I listened to Suicidal, Minor Threat, Shattered Faith, Bad Religion, all the hardcore bands, RKL. My ceramics class in 7th grade making RKL mugs, you know, in '84. So carving RKL into all my shit. I love that aggression. That was some of my favorites. I don't know if it was hardcore, but I think we called everything hardcore in those years. It's the truth. Like everything was kind of hardcore. It wasn't just East Coast punk that is hardcore. But
You know, this. I was going to mention this to you because I mentioned it to Smelly in my podcast with him. I have an original pressing of RKL, Riches to Rags, still sealed, unopened.
Yeah.
Like, do you know anyone that would want that, maybe for the museum or anything like that?
There's a couple giant RKL fans out there, Fat Mike being one of them. You know, it might be worth throwing it out there at him and seeing what he's.
I have no
that.
contact with Mike. I'm in slight contact with El Jefe, Smelly, and you. You're pretty much the only guys that I have contact with.
Does he have an Instagram?
He does, but he'll never respond because he gets like 500 messages a day.
Well, he probably does. You should see him try to respond to me, motherfucker. Fuck. But I'll throw it out there. You know, that's interesting. He's a candidate for something like that. Yeah, that's a high value item for some. You know, very sought after. Let's say desirable. Maybe Chris Rest would be interested. I'm going to throw it out there to a few people and see if anybody is interested in that, because it's our RKL people. You know, first and foremost, maybe the actual band, Barry or Chris.
Yeah, thanks a lot, dude. I think I am the only person that has the sealed copy. I've not seen it anywhere. So.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't know if they care, then it's cool. I don't know. You know, what is it worth to who? But some people must care, obviously. There's definitely a Facebook, an RKL, a couple Facebook groups or something. You just throw it out there, see who responds.
Yeah, man. Well, it sounds like you were mostly behind the camera for Backstage Passport. Was that because they gave you that job of filming?
I had some trauma in my life, and we won't get into, but I didn't tour for a little bit there. That first run on Backstage Passport, as they're in South America, Yolanda in Ecuador, and the entire escape from Ecuador, Peru, or what all that shit. I wasn't there. I actually booked all those shows. That whole disaster, that was me helping book it, because I've been in Costa Rica for 27 years now, and you know, I've had the chance to meet promoters in Central America, South America, and try to start making it happen. I did a show in Costa Rica with Strung Out, went over really well. Brought Lagwagon, went over really well. Then we did some Venezuela, Colombia. I started making some more connections, and it was time for NOFX. And then I had some issues in my personal life. I stepped away from the band, but we continued to make that tour happen, and it was definitely a fucking disaster. The booking part of it. Some of the shows worked out, some of them didn't, but that was kind of my first and last attempt at booking South America. And then I came back to do the tours and the next 2 years of Backstage Passport. What I didn't want was the cameramen following me around or needing to film me. They had plenty of content between the band, Jay Walker, Kent. What a fucking character. Kent really pushed himself to the limits on that one. And Jay did. It was, there was some show there. There's a lot of truth, but there might have been a little bit of show in there. And I wasn't interested in being the show, the merch guy either. So I don't think he's in it for 2 seconds in the whole entire everything. I don't even know if they show him. I think they do, but we really tried. I had it out. I had screaming matches with the cameraman. Definitely threatened to fucking punch him. And Mike was bummed on it, but he understood. Leave me the fuck alone. And they kind of did. By the second season, I guess you call it, I warmed up a little bit. They filmed me a little here and there. I still didn't do any of the interviews, the after the facts. I wasn't that guy, but I felt easier with them being around me. And I know in the extras, I must be a little bit in there. I've seen some of it, so I know I'm in there.
I watched it last night. I watched all of them over the last 2 days. You're actually in it more than you think you are.
I suppose I probably am. I'm going to tell you that first season, I'm not in it. I purposely, I wasn't there on the tour, so I know I'm not there in South America.
You were in Singapore with the whole Green Dragon incident.
Oh yeah, I know.
So,
I know.
How are you guys working that out? Like, obviously you're doing, it's punishable by death to take drugs in Singapore, but you guys are filming that and putting it out on TV. Like, are you not worried for the band's safety for doing something like that?
In the moment, of course not. Fuck no. No thoughts. You see us. You saw the TV show? Did anybody care? Yeah, no. And then after now, why would you care? I don't know. Are Singapore going to come get us? Or we just don't go back there? I don't know. I think I'm pretty innocent. I don't know. But, no, I needed weed. I need weed everywhere in the world. So some people were bummed on me. Don't talk like that. I want to say Malaysia, probably the Kuala Lumpur, probably the only place on the planet I've not gotten marijuana. The only place on the planet. Everything's been pretty good. And yeah, people need drugs and alcohol, and that's what happens.
Well, at this time, Mike was being really excessive with like his drug use and acting out. I think Limo at one point had to control his drug intake. Just how concerned were you guys for Mike at this time?
I've been the guy as well. Maybe we didn't announce it and did it a little more nonchalantly. But Mike definitely would appreciate it if he wasn't holding, because then it might be a little too rampant. And if somebody can just dole out bits here and there, it might be better for him. It doesn't work out ever, because the person holding for him is the enemy, just becomes the enemy, he wants. And it's like, no, you already had your daily. And now he's full of hate. Fuck you. Give it to me. Like, this is the position you put me in. And it didn't happen so much. It happened a few times in our world where I guess we try to help Mike just maintain a little better so it didn't get totally out of control for us. Maybe not for him. I think for him, he's fine. But for us, yeah, it's like, okay, now it's out of control. And he saw it, so he's like, okay, control me. And no one can. It's tough. For sure, Limo tried it. For sure, Jay Walker tried. For sure, I have. He's brought other people around the world with us as his handler, as his caretaker. And it doesn't work that way. It's really tough to make it. I don't know if you call it addiction, but the need to party makes it tough, man, when somebody's controlling you.
It's pretty extreme to like show up at an airport and some fan just hands you some random pills, different coloured pills. I mean, what if there's rat poison in there or some shit?
Modern day life, it's impossible to just go grab pills off the stage that come flying up and take them, because that's normal, man, all our lives until, nowadays you're going to fucking die. You don't know what it is. But we have test kits, so we test it all first.
Oh, okay.
Test it all. Yeah, sure. You got to test shit, and you got to have Narcan with you as well. I have it in my toolbox. You never fucking know, man. You just got to be totally prepared. And if that's how drugs are now in 2000s, that's how you have to do them. But there's definitely times where it's been rampant. Just people handing just bags of random shit. You're stoked. You don't even know what the fuck it is. Don't matter. Or you had to go and look up the physician's desk reference guide to find out what the pill is. Look at the number. Before the internet, really. Look up in the book. What is this pill? Oh, okay, I can take this. Fucking nuts.
So do you think they found out what that green dragon was? Because mostly they didn't seem to know in the moment.
No, we don't. We'll still all just say it was ketamine. We'll just say it was a mix of ecstasy and ketamine. Let's say that. That's what we're all going with. I think everybody's general consensus was that's what we've been saying for this many years now. It was a mix of X and K.
Why do you think it had the worst impact on Mike? Everyone else kind of took it. Seemed a little bit loopy for a moment, and then everything was fine. But Mike became like a 5-year-old.
Man, no, it was everybody. Everybody was absolutely fucking wacko. For sure, Rubber Man. I mean, I remember Limo came walking up to me in the slowest motion ever, and his hands were like this. He was like, "Hey, what do I look like?" And I just barely could say it, and I was like, "What the fuck?" He's like, "It feels like I'm in slow motion." And I was just like, "Dude, yeah, you are. This is amazing." But so I'm gonna say it's possible. I was the only one who didn't do the Green Dragon. I'm positive I was the only one. I think Jay Walker's sober. If he was there, he didn't do it as well. And the camera guys didn't do it. They filmed. But yeah, usually I stick with some weed and just watch these guys. But they were all absolute rubber men in slow motion. And all of them turned into babies. And we all sat in a room at one point. And me being the one who didn't do it, I could tell. I was watching everybody just crying, laughing. God, it was fucking hilarious. And the TV show doesn't get to show you, some of the ins and outs of that. Just what they wanted you to see.
It was
Pretty
weird
fun,
when they.
pretty silly.
It was weird when they put it out on DVD because they left it censored. They left the episodes censored, and it's like, why would you do that?
Huh. Yeah, no, I don't know. I have no idea. I'm not in charge. Wasn't in charge of that shit.
It's so strange. Well, one thing that gets absolutely crazy is when you guys go to Eastern Europe, you go into some clubs, a lot of like clubs, the band will play upstairs, and you can see the floor is coming through. It's like it holds 300 people. I mean, how are you rigging that so it's safe for everybody? The stage is catching on fire. You're getting electric shocks.
Yeah, all of that at once, for sure. I call that job security. That's what I call that kind of shit. I jump to it and figure it out. What the fuck do we have to do to make it so we can play this show? Specific instances, exact examples I don't have for you, and we ran it a lot of times just on the risk of seeing what the fuck's going to happen. Of course, we don't want people hurt. Try to eliminate every single thing you can to have somebody getting hurt, and let's go. Got to show you the band's gonna play. The band played every time. There was some times where positive. How are we gonna do this? How the fuck can we do this? And then it's another theme of mine. The band's gonna play. It almost doesn't matter what I do. It helps what I do, but it don't matter in the end. The band's gonna fucking play, man. They have to. So I think we pulled it off every time.
Yeah, well, it seems that you were the guy that had to come on stage, and maybe you've learned all these different languages, and you're the one explaining to the crowd, hey, the band's late, or we got to, fix something, before a riot maybe happens. I mean, are there times when you've been just afraid for your life, like in this modern day?
Well, specifically in Colombia, when I did have to go out and explain things for the third time in our lives that we were there, that we weren't going to fucking play. Shit got shut down for the third time in life. And the crowd's not going to take it. They're going to destroy every single thing. But here comes these giant tanks with water. It's just a fucking mayhem. Hey, you guys, react appropriately, or fuck, what are you gonna all get killed? We don't even know, but we're not playing. And when we finally did make it, I had to go back on stage and give a speech that, hey, you know, and I said it in Spanish. I was like, unfortunately, the band's gonna fucking play this time, and everybody's like, ah. So I have some Spanish. I'm in Costa Rica for 27 years, so I speak Spanish here and there.
Do you know any other languages? I think maybe you've got 2 or 3.
You know, because of the fact that this is all I've done for 34 years, sure, I have the basics of Deutsch, of German. I have the basics of Italian. I have a lot of Italians in my life. I had, and you know, Italian's super similar to Spanish, so it works itself out. Once you understand Italian and Spanish, the Latin roots of words in the European languages start coming together because it's all Latin based. You can pick up the French, you can pick up Portuguese, you can just listen, and I know so many words. Going out and speaking right back to them, no, but listening and understanding quite a few. Sure, I got a few languages over the years.
Yeah, man. Well, I've got to ask you about Romania, because you guys, you rigged a show up where, in the most unusual setting, where the stage, if you could call it a stage, is about 30 feet from the audience, or further than that, and there's what you call benches everywhere, so nobody can mosh. So, and there's a moat. There's a moat in between that. So.
Okay, sure. Okay, I remember this place. Yeah, I barely remember this place, but yeah.
What's in place to keep people safe there?
You
the stray dogs running around.
Yeah, sure. That's some silly shit, man. Fuck. That's like TV show shit right there, for sure. But other bands deal with it. It's reality. It's definitely reality for our type of bands. One day you're playing the festival with 60,000, and the next day you're in some village in Poland with 60 people and some stray dogs, sure, and a moat around your stage, sure. Fucking silly. You know, I guess you'd really have a little meeting with the local security and the local crew, try to figure it out, let them understand how we are and who we are, and see if we can pull it off together. A lot of security, they're not into making the show how we want it. You know, we don't want security per se. We almost don't need it. We want the kids to do what they want. Please come up on stage, and if they make it, we don't want security running up after. I got it. I take care of it from there. You know, and maybe I pat a guy in the back and tell them to shuffle off, or they're out of control. So the first thing I do is take them over with me and feed them beer. Just hand them a beer. We got a bar on stage. Just bring these pieces of shit assholes straight to me, and I feed them beer, and then they, oh, this is great, and they calm the fuck down. So, you know, whatever it took to make that happen. Times where it was really silly, and I don't have exact recollection of that in Romania. I do remember that stage and that moat and stuff. I don't think we had too many problems. Mike's not particularly happy in days like that where we don't get to have a crowd right up in there. You know, the barricade, it became necessary in life, but he loves it when there's no barricade as well. I just have to stand in front of him, guard that microphone. You know, if you go back, and there's plenty of them. These guys have been sending it to me over the last years. Go back to the 92, 93, and see these little clubs, NOFX playing in Berkeley Square, for example, 300 people. And you'll see me squatting down in front of the microphone, guarding it. I had to fight people for a fucking hour, just keeping that mic from smashing his teeth. And that was my job in the 90s for $20 a day.
Wow, okay.
Yeah. I have a friend who worked for Thrasher magazine. He came out to do a thing on NOFX in '93, and we didn't know each other then. He became the art director for Epitaph, and he's done all these great records and all the art and everything, laid out all these incredible projects, and I became friends with him. We're great friends now, and he just sent me this stuff from '93. He's like, "Is that you?" And my hair is like down in my fucking ass, and I'm squatting in front of the microphone. I'm all, of course it is. Who the fuck else gonna be there squatting in front of that guy all through the 90s? So yeah, that was my job.
Thrasher, so could you skate? Do you ever grow up skating?
Of course, I was a skater. You should see my shins right now. Fucking yeah, I lived it. But sure, we were emptying pools. We were building vert ramps. We were all about that, as well as my older brother, who showed me all of that. That's what was going on in those days for sure. We were skating. Um, by the time we did the White Trash tour, let's say what was that, 92, not so much, here and there. I think I did a tour with the band Ill Repute in 93 or 94, Big Rusty Balls tour, and I brought my skateboard on the United States tour, and there was some actual like skate parks starting to be built. There was a ramp in one park in Oregon. Burnside was going on, so we were skating a little bit here and there on that tour. They had a couple of years on me, but we were all skaters, so it was fun. But nah, not so much in my life. I still stay pretty solid with surfing. Being in Costa Rica, I live on the beach. Smelly's my surfboard maker, one of them. I'm fortunate enough to have a couple surfboard shapers that support me. Yeah.
All right, so what's your best explanation for how promoters just don't have their shit together? Permits haven't been paid, the venue fucking sucks. How are they not getting their shit together?
I think they just have so much ambition to try to please and pretend they're the man or something. It's got to be some ego. It's got to be some going for it to hope for the best. And sometimes it is fine, and you never know all the problems in between. But yeah, man, tough one. Going for it. You don't have your shit together. Fuck, it's a big risk. Fuck you doing? But when you're going to sketchy places and doing sketchy things, it's to be expected. How are you gonna have guarantees? You're never gonna. I'm not gonna say the band wasn't big enough, but it wasn't. We weren't doing it at that level where we got guarantees. We're at the level where it's like we're gonna go for it. Let's fucking go for it. And you don't really know. We just gotta trust. Some of these promoters have a history. They've done great shows. They do great. That's the idea. You're going with people that have done it before. But yeah, man.
You know what was so strange was in Indonesia, you guys were dealing with that guy called Torkus. He's emailing Kent, show's cancelled because they can't secure the event. And then when they get there, there's like 500 fucking cops. It's like, who's communicating back and forth this bullshit?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, it's hard to explain how it could happen. What's the in-betweens? But I guess that kind of ended up working out in the end. We did some show somewhere. I know the TV show didn't show the whole thing, showed some highlights of that. But that was great. I think I ended up playing bass. Mike laid on the ground, or I played guitar. Mike laid on the ground, just singing, screaming for like an hour. I just played a bass line over and over, or whatever we did. Germ song, and everybody was pissed. Smelly went to his room. Hefe left. Kent was there, pretty fucking wasted. I think he was having a good time, but everybody left. No one cared anymore. We just kept dragging it out deep into the late night. It's pretty funny shit. That ended up being the Bali show. I think at the Hard Rock, or I don't know. I don't know if it was a real show or not. I think they played some songs for real for a bit, and then just went to shit. Like just shut it down. Went to shit. Turned into Darby. I don't know. Turned into Sid. Whatever he wanted to be.
Well, in Australia, we see Mike on a shit ton of painkillers. He ends up pissing himself on stage. Jay Walker has to carry him off the stage. I think you might have carried him as well.
You mean the night he borrowed my shorts and pissed my pants? Is that what you mean? I reminded him of that. I reminded him of that the other month. I remember that well. He did not have any shorts. He had like pants. I need some shorts, and I had some shorts here. Loaned him my shorts. He peed my fucking shorts, motherfucker. Yeah, we've carried him off stage. We've had to. Sometimes we haven't had to, but we're playing it up a little bit, playing the game a little bit, making him look like he wants to look. And it was fun too. And yeah, maybe he was shit piled as well. It's all the same, but he probably could have walked off if he wanted to. But it was so much cooler just having him piss himself there and carrying them off. And we did it a few times between me and Jay and Limo. Yeah, carry him out of there.
So did you let him keep those shorts?
Oh, probably not. I'm sure I washed them in the sink like I'll wash all my stuff on tour, just in the sink and let it dry somewhere, like I'm going to do right now with all my dirty clothes.
So
I'm on tour.
Do you have a favorite NOFX album, or do they all kind of blend together for you?
No. I mean, where I started with the White Trash record, I have some favorites there on that record that you never get to hear ever again, and maybe at the very end of life here, they tried to dig up a little bit She's Gone or some of my Stranded, some of my favorite songs that went back, that you didn't get to hear ever again after Punk and Drublick. There was too many good songs, later after White Trash, there really was. So you just stick to those, to Bob, to those super highlight hits, and forgot about all the other gems on the record. I don't know if it's my favorite. I'm pretty into everything. I'm a fan. It's hard to be a fan after you know too much and you just deal with so much. But I'm still a fan. So I like it all,
So are you teching for the studio as well? Do you go in the studio with them and help rig up the shit?
I do not. I never did. It was never necessary. Or it was, and they just didn't use me. I don't know. I didn't get into it with them. I think I cherished my time, my free time, or I just got another gig with another band because I just can't stop. This is my passion. Lagwagon was always available. I do the Vandals. I do Me First in the Gimme Gimme, or Spike in the Gimme Gimmes. I do Pennywise. So there's always a job somewhere, and somebody's going, "Hey, come with us." Hey, I've been really fortunate on that end to be able to beat the streets nonstop, man.
It seems mostly Fat and Epitaph bands you work with. Have you ever worked outside of that?
I suppose I have, but we're all family. We're all such family. I didn't have to go outside my family. Never. Come 97, our booking agent here in Europe, Destiny, David Pollock, he was like, "Hey, come on out here and tour manage these smaller bands." So I'm out here in Europe managing Good Riddance, managing Diesel Boy, managing Strung Out, managing Pulley, tour after tour. And they all happen to be on the same record labels because we're all family, and that we stay really close, Epitaph and Fat. We just stayed really close. All the bands are playing with each other. Who's the opening band? It's going to be a Fat band if Mike's trying to put out their record. It's going to be the record that's coming out. They're going to be with us for the next 2 years. So sure enough, that band needs somebody the next time. They're like, "Oh, Rudley's unbelievable. Let's just get Rudley. He knows what to do." So there I am. I didn't have to go outside of the family. Yeah.
So, I mean, you're seen as sort of a problem fixer, like that's what I said to you in text. I mean, has there ever been a time where you just couldn't fix some shit? Just like the show was falling apart and that was that. You just had to let it fall apart. Any band.
I can't remember a time where it's just fallen apart that bad. I'll really pride myself on making the rock roll. So, I mean, if I had to grab an electrical line and be the contact to the other side and let the power run through me, I suppose that's what the fuck I'm doing. But shit's gone pretty bad. I mean, never bad enough to where we had to shut it down completely. But I do remember times like even Warped Tour times, not even with the band, just early morning massive storm rolling through, and we're just trying to set up stages, and that's not my job, but how are we going to play if we can't get the stage up? So sure enough, I'm fucking there. Climb some scaffolding. I'm hanging upside down on some kind of rigging, trusses, holding something by one hand as the wind's blowing 80 miles an hour and rain's coming into my face. No straps, nothing like that. We're just going for it, just to try to make shit work out. I've always been that way. That's what I do. Yeah, I'll fix the problem. I really don't even see the problem. I'm looking for the solution, is exactly what my mind is doing. So, yeah.
Well, so you say you work with the Vandals nowadays? I mean,
that's I do. I tour manage the Vandals. Manage the Vandals. I'm their stage tech / tour manager. Yeah. It's a good pivot. Good fun.
I might never ever get to talk to Dave Quackenbush. He's kind of a mystery. What's Dave like when there's no cameras, nothing around?
Dave is an absolute gem. What a great fucking man. So smart. All of the Vandals, very smart, very witty, a lot of one-liners, and they're coming back on each other. It's genius. Fuck, they're really intelligent people. Great to be around. So yeah, I appreciate Q, man. Dave Quackenbush is great. It's good shit.
So when Warren starts like working with Tenacious D here and there and Gwen Stefani here and there, like how do you feel about that stuff? Because he's like going super mainstream and super poppy at times.
Yeah.
Are you protective over the punk rock sort of world?
No. Get it, man. Get anything you can. That would be a shame to limit yourself like that. I don't know. Nobody's a fool. They want exposure, and they want people to know who they are and see what they can do. Warren is an absolute maniac, unbelievable, real savant type genius. So maybe lacking some other kind of basic skills, but wow, incredible on the guitar and musician. It's really impressive. I really appreciate that. My great friend Chris Shiflett, who I traveled the world with, he's guitarist for the Foo Fighters. How would we ever want to take that away?
Josh Freese ended up in the Foo Fighters at one point as well, didn't he?
Sure. Josh has been doing those kind of things since forever, though. Just like kind of, I don't know if everybody's known it. He's been in the studio on every single fucking record you can imagine. Every big, he's done an absolute shit ton of studio work. So the name dropping that goes on with Josh Freese is very impressive. Awesome. No, that's like it's just like being with the Offspring. Last night I was with them, and it's just leveled up. It's turned into something so beyond what we are and what we became. We fucking love it. Blink, we're not taking it away from them. They're fucking punk. I know how they started. They sat in the bus with me. They had to leave my tour. I'm with Lagwagon in Europe.
Oh yeah.
They become the biggest fucking band in America, and they're like, we have to leave the tour, and they weren't doing good. Believe me. I want to say 10 Foot Pole was just kicking their ass every night as the opening band. Then Blink would come up, and people didn't care. And then it was the Lagwagon show, because Lagwagon was doing really good in Europe. Must have been 95, 96 when that happened. I don't know. Fact check me on that one as well. But yeah, Blink had to leave our tour. I know where they came from. I know who they are. I fucking appreciate the fuck out of them, I support anybody who's sold out, because they didn't fucking sell out. No, it just happened for them, and it's awesome. And Mike didn't want it to happen for him. He did it on purpose, so it did not happen that way. It was 100% on purpose. And I'm sure in the movie, the last song that he wrote, We Did It Our Way, explains it a little bit. He did it his way, 100%, all the time. Owned it all. Nobody got a piece. Nobody. Just us.
Well, Mike recently came out and said he wrote a song for Blink, that punk rock cliche song. They ended up putting it on an NOFX album, I think. That's kind of a mental story. And they cut it off the album as well.
I only know what Mike told me. And Mike had told me him and Skiba wrote a song. And Skiba showed Mark. Mark loved it. And they recorded it. They did some recording, and then it came out to where, well, okay, so it's the Fat Mike song. You know, he helped me write it, or him and Skiba collabed on it. I don't know how much, who wrote what, but I seem to think Mark probably didn't want to have anything to do with that. I don't think he's an enemy of Mike or anything, but it just probably wasn't necessary for them to do. I don't know. I could make a bunch of shit up and just tell you what I think, but I don't really know.
Really need to get Mark on the podcast. I mean, do you have his contact information?
I can connect you with his tech, with his guitar tech, and you can try with him.
That might work.
I'll send you.
That'd be good. That'd be awesome. Is skate punk and melodic hardcore what you tend to listen to? Do you like other styles of music, or do you just listen to that skate punk stuff?
No, you know, I'm okay with listening to anything, and on purpose going to my house and putting music on purpose. I don't put on that music at all. Maybe I might put on some kind of reggae music and hang out with my wife or something. I do have a daughter. When she was 11, she really got turned on, mastered the guitar, mastered the bass. She's a full drummer. She's really taken it on really well. Brought her to Europe in the last tour. She played The Decline with the band multiple times. You know, she's played Brohim with Pennywise, and she'll play drums with Pennywise possibly here in Barcelona on this tour. She may do a song. She's 14, or she's 14 now. So I got her to do a collab with Sarah Ninja, the drummer girl. My daughter played guitar. I had Fat Mike on the video. You know, we did Rico. My daughter played guitar, bass, did all the pick slides, all the overdubs, all the leads. So fun recording. Mike's got some songs for her. We're going to go to Vegas. He wants to put my daughter out. He wants to show the world my daughter. So that's exciting. And she's capable. So I do listen to a lot of Blink because of her. I listen to a lot of Sublime because of her, which I love. You know, she's into Pierce the Veil. She's into new music that kids would be into. She's definitely into it. But her favorite of all time is NOFX. Her room is plastered in NOFX everywhere. Every song she plays, she learned every NOFX guitar song, guitar part, bass parts, all of Fat Mike's bass lines. So yeah, it's very impressive.
God no. Well, you mentioned Sublime there. Did you know Bradley back in the day? Did you cross paths with those guys?
I did, of course. You know, they were on many shows. I'd be doing a Lagwagon show, and we got this band Sublime playing as the opener, one of the bands. But it was messy. My recollection back then when Bradley was alive was what a disaster. I didn't like them. I didn't want to do a show with them because they weren't even going to fucking show up. And if they did, how late are they going to go on? Are they going to finish on time? Are they even playing songs? Or are they just making some thing and Bradley's going to rap the whole time? Because that happened. He had a gift of gab. He could really just start rapping it, you know, over just a little jib and just start rapping it. Really impressive. But the whole thing that surrounded them was a mess. They were partiers. It was like drugs and alcohol in my mind with that camp. So I didn't care about it. It was a little bit later in life. It was definitely after he passed where I really started turning on to Sublime, and then Long Beach Dub All Stars came out on the Warped Tour, and I was just in the bus with them every day with them. You know, they're my great friends, so I love them, and Miguel. And yeah, you know, now Sublime's back on, and we're doing a show next month with them, with Pennywise. We'll do a festival. We did a few shows in Vegas a few months back with them. My friends are their crew running the band. Another one of my buddies is their manager. Their new management are my friends. So
isn't it Joe from the Vandals managing Sublime?
He is one of them. Yes, my boss is one of them. So yeah, it makes the Sublime team so much better now. My thought of Sublime and what Sublime is, has changed immensely over the years.
Yeah, man. That's incredible, man. Top 3 bands to work with?
NOFX, number 1. Pennywise, Lagwagon. I mean, Lagwagon's my life. I want to go back on that. Lagwagon definitely took me and brought me everywhere in the world. We brought each other. We taught each other so much. Just learning from the road because we did not know what the fuck to do. How are we going to know? It's our first times ever. So there I am in charge of everything. Lagwagon, let's say 93, 94, 95, 96, heavy years. Somewhere around 96, I'm pretty sure everybody could buy houses, right? You know, from all of a sudden there's 2,000 people singing every word to every song. And the year before it was 350 people. So things really had that mid 90s. Wow. It really turned on. And it's like, okay, now what do I do? We learn. You better fucking learn. And we taught each other. We really pushed each other to make it how it had to be. Obviously, watching others and stealing every idea we can, you know, but trying to be right, trying to be correct to make it happen. But Lagwagon, they're definitely my first love. And NOFX, right there. That's real family. Pennywise, you know, they took me on. Full trust in me and let me do my thing for them. So tough with Fletcher, very tough. He's a control master. So,
well, I was going to say, before we wrap up, we've got to get a Fletcher story from you. But before that, I mean, favourite NOFX album cover?
I like the cover of The Decline a lot. I like that. I like what it's doing. I like what it stands for.
Would you say that was your favourite song?
It's a well-rounded song. It takes me a lot of places. So, yeah, you know, Orphan Year might be my favorite song. Really hits me hard. I think I've cried on stage a few times. So, okay. Yeah, it hits me hard. Orphan Year.
All right, man, I'll let you drive us home with the Fletcher story.
Oh, geez, okay. Well, one time I'm in Japan with Pennywise. I'm with Fletch, and we're getting on an elevator. Go up to our hotel room. I got my camera. I was documenting fucking everything those years, and I know that Pennywise made their home movies with a lot of my footage. I know that was on one of their Live at the Key Club. I think they did a home movies thing. It's a lot of my footage. And then we tried to get a lot of my tapes back for the NOFX movie right now because it went deep. I filmed a lot of drug use on the Warped Tour, an awful lot of me and Melvin alone going through stuff, a lot of me and Mike just alone. And I never got that footage back. So did a lot of time filming Pennywise. So I had my camera, Fletch, get the camera on, get in the elevator, get in the corner of the elevator right now and hold the camera up high. And I'm all, okay, fuck that. He's all, I'll make it worth your while. Get in there. Fuck. Okay. I get in the elevator and put my camera up like this. And, you know, Japanese businessmen walk in, some people walk in, the doors close. And Fletcher just starts, I'm filming him, and he just starts going, and just, and he's fucking dumping on these fucking people all over their heads. And I'm just like, filming the shit as it's splashing fucking everywhere. I mean, and that's just a mellow, easy story. It's nonstop with Fletch. It's nonstop. He fucking loves that. It's not even for anybody. It's for him every time. His enjoyment. That's the craziest psychotic shit about that guy. It's all just for him. He doesn't even care if there's anybody around. He just was lucky I had the camera and I was there. But he'd have done it alone. He'd have done it anyway. And he does. He still does. He can't stop. We don't know what the fuck's wrong with him. He doesn't know what's wrong with him. We talked about this last night. He's going to write a song about himself. He doesn't know what the fuck's wrong with him.
Are you finding yourselves having to pay a lot for damages?
Yes.
Got to be thousands of dollars of damages wherever he goes.
Absolutely, it's happened. It's definitely a part of it. I think it's probably been worse than it is in 2026. I think he's tried to tone it down. He doesn't do so much hard alcohol, and he stays fairly safe with seltzers or beers. He doesn't get to that level. But yeah, there's been damages and they have to be paid for in a normal standard. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you know who I'm talking to in a few days' time?
Who are you talking to in a few days?
Steve from early NoFX.
Kidweller. Excellent. Great guy. Love Steve. Yeah, me and Steve still talk.
Oh,
we
really?
just saw
Okay.
each other. Well, we saw each other at the final shows. We saw each other at the museum for the NoFX exhibit. And I asked him to come and play. You know, we did a song in the Pennywise room, me and Mike and Smelly. And I wanted Kidweller to play the other guitar part, but he fucking went home. He went to his hotel or something. And then Hefe was going to do it. And then I was like, nah, I can't have that many members of NoFX. Let me just keep Mike and Smelly. And then so Rob Ruckus, who works the museum, Rob came and played the guitar. We did a song together. It was fucking great. But I would have liked Steve to be on that, man. It would have been fun. So yeah, we still see Steve and talk to Steve. He's a good one.
Yeah, man. Well, hopefully he's got some golden stories to tell us, and you've had some great stories as well so far. Is there any chance you could hook me up with Fletcher?
No guarantees, but of course I can let him know who you are and what we're doing, and I'll show him, you know, the podcast and stuff. And yeah, he doesn't do this, you know, either. Really, he doesn't sit and do podcasts. I don't think he hasn't done a tour at the museum yet. So he needs to start telling his side of things.
Yeah, man.
So it's a great take.
I'd talk to anyone from Pennywise, really, or anyone that you could hook me up with would be great. But yeah, man, we're gonna have to get out of here before the equipment melts because it's getting really hot. Dude, thanks so much.
Is it hotter in England than it is here in Paris? For real? You think it's hotter in England than it is here in Paris?
How hot is it there?
Fuck, I don't know. Pushing 40. It's fucking hot.
It's got to be like 35 here.
Yeah, it's probably the same here. It's really warm. Yesterday in Hellfest was really actually was Hellfest. Yeah, people were dying.
Yeah, man. I'll send you some pictures of that RKL record a little bit later. Yeah, man. Thanks so much for doing this, dude. This has been great, dude.
All right, man. Yeah, I have my doubts, but okay. I don't know how much of a storyteller I am, but okay. It's interesting to somebody. I'm sure it is.
Yeah, of course, man.
I just call it life. I don't know. I'm sure it's stories for someone, though.
Alright, we'll let you get out of here, dude. Thanks so much.
All right, brother. Thanks, man. Later.